Hello dear students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Roots of Biology. In my previous class, I explained you about male as well as female reproductive system, and also we studied about secondary sexual characteristics. So now I am teaching for class 10 CBSE, that is chapter 7, how do organisms reproduce. So today we are going to discuss about the process of fertilization and further development. It is quite interesting. So what are the process will take in place once sexual reproduction is completed? What will be the next steps? How the baby development will occur? What are the stages? Everything we're going to study in this video. Okay, so and then one more thing I wanted to tell you. So those who are watching my video first time, please do watch my videos, like, share, and subscribe my channel. So because it might be useful to many students who are in need to learn about these concepts. So which is very important for their exam point of view. Okay, come children, let us discuss about the process of fertilization and further development in our next slide. Okay, come let us move on to the next slide. Okay, children, now let us study about fertilization in human beings. So, already told you what is fertilization. We studied in sexual reproduction in flowering plants. There, I explained you about fertilization process, right? Fertilization means the fusion of both male and female. It results in the formation of a zygote. We know these basics, right? So, like this, let us study how does it occur in human beings. Are you all interested to know this? Yes, definitely. We are all interested to learn about this. So, what happened during sexual intercourse? What happened? The sperm from the male. The male gamete is a sperm and it entered into the vagina of the female. So, this particular part is called vagina. Okay, children? So, here what happened? From a male, the sperm, it entered into the vagina of the female. Later, the sperm reaches the oviduct. So where does it reaches? It will reach the oviduct. One sperm, there are millions of sperms it will release during sexual intercourse, but only one sperm, it fuses with egg. Okay, children, you can see the sperm here. So it has a long tail structure and also head. So this sperm, it fuses with egg. It results in the formation of a zygote. Later what happened? The zygote gets implanted. So oviduct is nothing but, I already told you, in female reproductive system, that particular part is called oviduct. That is what we called as fallopian tubes, right? So here what happened? Once the sperm fuses with egg and form a zygote, later that fertilization process which take place here only. So it meets, the sperm meets and enter the egg. That process will take place here. Later what happened? The zygote then gets implanted, it fixed. Okay, so it will implanted in the uterus. Uterus is the place, I already told you, where the baby will develop. So that is the place for, it's a mother's womb. Okay, in the uterus it's get implanted. So later what happened? These zygote, so okay, this zygote, what I told you, so it will start divide to form an embryo. So later it undergo division, single cell division. So later this division, cell division process, later it will form a embryo. So these embryo, whatever the embryo will form, no, so these embryo, it will get the nutrition from the mother's blood through a structure called placenta. Through a placenta, it will provide a nutrition for a embryo. So development of child takes 9 months and the child is born. So this process is called the fertilization in human beings. We're going to study in detail about this process in my next slide. Come, I hope you got it, children. So this is what we called as the fertilization process. So I think if you all doesn't know how the baby will form, how the development will occur, so that is quite interesting topic, right? So come, let us more discuss that in our next slide. Now I'm going to explain you about the fertilization process in detail. Okay, children. So are you all ready to learn? Yes. Come, let us discuss about this now. So you can see the fertilization is a process. What happened here? I already told you the fusion of both male gametes are known as sperm, fuses with the female gametes known as egg to form a zygote. This happen inside the female body. I already told you. So that particular body is called fallopian tube. So what we call for this structure, children? So this is fallopian tube. It is also called as oviduct. Okay, so usually the fertilization, it's of two types. One, so few fertilization it take place externally and it happens outside the body, so usually we can see in frogs, and some fertilization which has happened inside the body like human. So this is what we call as internal fertilization. Got it, children? So this is what we call as fertilization process. I hope you got it, what is fertilization now. So and then in human, what happened, the sperm meet the egg in the fallopian tube. After fertilization, the zygote will undergo division and form an embryo. Already told you. So how the embryo formation will take place. Okay, this is what we call as an embryo. So and then which develop into a baby. So it fertilization, it restore the complete set of chromosome. Then something will come to your mind, ma'am, what is chromosome then? Will you please explain us? Definitely, I'm going to tell you now. The chromosomes are the thread-like structures. When in my next video, I'm going to explain about this DNA, chromosome, variations, everything will explain in detail, children. So now let us concentrate what I'm talking to you. So chromosomes are the thread-like structures which is found in the nucleus of the cell. In a cell we have a nucleus, right? So it carry a genetic information. What are genetic information? The characteristic features from our parents in the form of DNA which determine the traits. Like, so we look exactly like our parents, not exactly, might be some similarities we can see. Sometimes we may look like our parents, eyes are like our parents, color is like our parents, height might be our like our parents, right, children? So this is characteristic, this is what we called as these characters which is transferred from our parents, so because of the presence of the chromosomes. So the chromosomes are the thread-like structures. So usually humans have 46 chromosomes. Got it, children? Or 23 pairs. 22 pairs are autosomes. You'll go to study later. So one pair is sex chromosome, determine whether the female baby or the male baby. So that's why totally we have a 46 chromosomes in our body. The chromosomes are made up of DNA and protein. So they help. What is the function of chromosome then? It is helpful to transfer the hereditary information from parent to the offsprings. Okay. So this is what we usually, not in human beings we have a chromosomes around 46. So what about dogs? It's around 78. Cats 38. So that's why we want to know about more about DNA and how chromosomes work. We'll study in our next slide. Okay, in our next video. Okay, so the next point is here I have told zygote formation. So fertilization, you got it, no, children? So what is zygote formation then? Zygote is the first cell which is formed when a male fuses with the female gamete. So when the fusion will occur, so okay, you can see here, when the fusion occur, this process is fusion of this, it will form a zygote. You can see here. Once the sperm enter inside the egg, it will form a zygote. Okay, this is what we call as a zygote. During fertilization, so how this zygote formed, I told you already. Okay, so during the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the egg, okay, it results in the formation of a single cell called zygote. Got it, children? You can see here the single cell undergo division into four cells, two cell, four cell, like this, eight cell. It will undergo division like this. Okay, so like this zygote contain a complete set of chromosome. So that is around 46 in human, I told you. So right, zygote undergo repeated cell division. So that is what we call as mitosis. It develop into an embryo which later become a baby. So this is what we call as zygote formation. I hope you got it. So now let us discuss about embryo development. So what is this embryo development then? So embryo development is the early stage of development after the zygote start dividing. So this is what we called as embryo development. In my next slide I will show you. But let us understand about this now. Same picture I will show you in my next slide. So you can see, children. So this is what we call as embryo development. What happened first? The fuse fertilization occur, which is followed by the zygote formation. So later what happened? Cell division. Zygote divide repeatedly form a ball of cells. You can see cell exactly looking like a balls, right? So you can see here, children. So this is what we called as ball of cell. It undergo repeated division So that is what we call as cell division. So I think you already studied about mitosis and meiosis in your previous classes, right? When you was in previous classes, you already studied. So that type of division which take place here. So that is what we call as cell division. So later what happened? The blastocyte will form. This is what we called as blastocyte. What is blastocyte? This is the ball of cells. It become a halo, and this structure is called blastocyte. So once it is completely, so you can see the stages is showing here clearly. First, second, third, fourth, and blastocyte. Once it is completely formed, later what happen? Implantation will occur. I already told you what is implantation. The blastocyte, it attaches to the wall of the uterus. That process is called implantation. So development into, later it will develop into an embryo. Got it, children? You can see here the stages here. So embryo, it undergo division, it will form a blastocyte, later it will form an embryo. This embryo, it's looking like a baby, right? So it will attach it to the uterus of a female body. So after implantation, what happened? The blastocyte will develop into an embryo. So this is what we called as the stages of development of embryo. So I hope you got it, children. So now let us discuss about these embryo. It develop in the uterus. It get nutrition and oxygen through the placenta. Now let us discuss about this placenta now. So the placenta, what is the function of placenta, then where it is present? So placenta is the special organ. You can see here, children, inside the mother's body. So you can see this structure, red color structure you can see now. So this structure is called placenta. So what is the function of this then? So it is organ that form between the mothers and the developing embryo in the uterus. It is formed between the mothers and as well as developing embryo. So nutrition. So major function of this, it provide a food and oxygen from mother's blood to the baby. From mother, it will go provide a food and oxygen. It remove waste products. What are the waste products it will remove? Like carbon dioxide from the baby's blood to the mother's blood. So protection, it acts like a barrier. It protecting the baby from some harmful substances. Okay, so that is why. And hormone production, it produces hormones like progesterone, so it helps to maintain the pregnancy. So this is the major function of placenta. So the next point I have written here, that is about the gestation period. So what is this gestation period then? So one more thing I want to tell you about the placenta, children. So this placenta connect to the baby through the you can see umbilical cord. This thread-like structure is there, no? Pipe-like structure. This is called as umbilical cord. This placenta connect to the baby through the umbilical cord. So it ensures the baby's growth and survival inside the mother. So let us discuss about the gestation period now. So it's the time of fertilization. So it is the time at the period of fertilization when the sperm join to the egg, sperm and egg join to form a to the birth of a baby. So it lasts around 9 months. I think you already heard about this. Am I right? So usually the gestation period is the time of fertilization to the birth of a baby. From a fertilization to the birth of a baby. So this is called gestation period. It lasts about 9 months, 40 weeks. During this time, what happens? The zygote develop into an embryo, into the fetus. So before we call it as a baby, we call it as a fetus, and finally into a fully developed baby. It is ready for a birth. So I hope you got it, children. What are the steps which has taken place here? Gestation period allow the baby to grow and develops organs, tissues, and system to survive outside the mother's body. Now we all grown up, we know everything. So what are the process which take place behind us? Definitely we should be very much thankful to our mother, right? So what are the struggles she had taken for us? So I hope you understand about this. Now come, let us move on to the next slide. Okay, children, let us sum up with the stages in the early development of the embryo. So, have a look at this picture. I already discussed with you. See what happened the first once when the sperm reaches the egg. So the once the fusion will take place, so that is what we call as fertilization, results in the formation of a zygote, right? So which is followed by the cleavage. That mean to say this rapid cell division of the zygote without growing forming a, so it will form a morals you can say morula. So there are the cell undergo division into two cell division stage and four cell stage, later eight cell stage, later it will form a morula. So this is what we called as cleavage. Okay, first cleavage, second cleavage, third cleavage. So later it will form a morula. So later what happened? So later these this is what morula is, nothing but the solid balls of a cell. Okay, later blastulation. So what happened here? The cells rearrange into hollow structure called blastula. Okay, the cells will undergo, it will rearrange into form a blastula. So this is what we call as the blastocytes. Okay, blastocyte, blastocyst, and it will implant into the uterus. So this is what the process of early development of embryo, so which take place with. And later I already discussed with you what are the different stages here, and once the blastocyte is formed, later it will implant into the uterus. Later we this is what we called as an embryo. Okay, later it will the embryo, it will develop into a baby or a fetus. So this is regarding the stages of early development of an embryo. Suppose children, if you go through this picture, you will clearly understand the fertilization process. Come, let us move on to the next slide. Now let us discuss about the stages in the development of a fetal, or we can say the baby developmental stages, fetal developmental stages. Already discussed with you children, like once the fertilization process will form, that is what we call as the fertilized egg, it will undergo cleavage or the division, 2 cell stage division, 4 cell stage division, 8 cell stage division, 16 cell stage division, later it will form a blastocyst. Okay, so later this is once the baby from we can say from week 1 to week 12 we consider it as a first trimester. So usually it will take week 9 to 12. The fetus develop recognizable human features. What are the features we can see here? Heart, brain, lungs continue forming here, and limb, fingers and toes become distinct. It's visible, and heartbeat can often be detected at this week. Okay, so later once it is reached there, later we can see second trimester. So it will start from 13 weeks to 26 weeks. Here we can see the relative growth in the length and weight. Week 16 to 20 mother may feel movement, development of facial features we can see here. And later we can see the third trimester, it continue growth phase and gain most of its weight. It's around 27 to 40 weeks. You can see complete development of a baby here. Lungs mature in preparation of breathing. The brain and nervous system will undergo develop well. So by week 37 to 40 weeks, so you can see the fetus is considerably fully term and ready for the birth. So this is fully developed baby, so which is ready for birth. Okay, so this is regarding the fetal developmental stages. When you go to higher class, you will study in detail. So now let us discuss about what happens when the egg is not fertilized. We know we discussed fertilization process, right children? So what happens suppose if egg is not fertilized? So you can see the ovary, it produces one egg every month. Okay, in a human body, ovary produce every 1 month will produce one egg, and uterus prepare to receive the fertilized egg. Its wall become thick and spongy with blood vessels for nourishing the embryo. The wall of the uterus, it become thick and spongy. Uterus prepare to receive the fertilized egg. Its wall become thick and spongy with blood vessels for nourishing the embryo. Suppose if fertilization does not take place, what happen? Then the uterus wall will breaks and come out of the vagina in the form of blood and mucus. Got it, children? Every month once, uh, the women will get this menstrual cycle. This cycle takes place once in every month, and this is called menstruation, or I can say menstrual cycle. Okay, so here what happened? The menstrual cycle is monthly process that prepare woman body for There are some hormones which undergo different changes. So this is what we called as menstrual cycle. It is typically lasts around 28 days, though it can range from 21 to 35 days. This is regarding the menstrual cycle. I hope you got it, children. So I think girls usually come to know about this, right? Every month once we will get a periods. So that is what we called as menstrual cycle. So that is the blood and the mucus which will come out from our body through vagina. This process is called menstruation. I hope you got it. Let us move on to the next slide. Till now, we discussed about how the reproduction process which take place in human beings, and also we discussed about the menstrual cycle. I hope you got it, children. If you have any doubt to ask me in the comment box, and please do watch my videos. Please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay, so I hope I will receive many subscription and also many likes and shares, because if you motivate me, then only I can do many further lessons. I can continue with new concept in my next class. Okay, thank you.